Yesterday we had seen that. Yesterday we had seen 2 years question papers, okay, which we tried to solve. But the mistake that I did was I thought that I will type the program and show you the output real time. But because of some errors here and there to debug the errors, all that, it took a little time. So that's why what I did was yesterday, after the class, I typed all the programs which had appeared for the exams. And then I will directly show you the programs now and I will show you the output. That is what I will do. Okay. So let us continue. I will share the screen. Okay. I will share the screen immediately. I hope you are able to see my screen now. So yesterday, I'll just open the 2 question papers first. You know that we are solving 2 question papers from VTUs, that is January 2019 and July 2019. In Jan 2019, yeah, we are solving this module number 3. Okay, so this is what we are solving. We'll just make it a little big so that it appears a little clearly. Okay, fine. So yesterday we saw that describe any 2 list operations. This we saw. I told you that you have to write down the plus operator and the stars operator. Okay, and then we have to write a Python program to accept n numbers from the user and find the sum of all the even numbers and product of all the odd numbers. This program I wrote yesterday, and then you saw the output also. Then later on, the next question is list merits of dictionary over list. I told you that in dictionary, it's very easy to count the number of words and alphabets and all that. So that advantage you can write down. And then they ask you to write a program to accept USN numbers and marks obtained. Okay. And then for a set of students. So you have to first read a set of students, the students USN number you have to read, and how many marks percentage you have to, only 1 marks, not multiple marks. You have to accept percentage of how much the student has secured, USN number and how much percentage. Then again USN number, percentage, like that you have to read for multiple students. And then after that you will have to first display what is the maximum marks, in the class and what is the minimum marks in the class. And then you have to display the set of all the USN numbers in this range. All the USN numbers who have scored marks between 100 to 85, 85 to 75, 75 to 60, and all those who have scored below 60. Separately, we have to display this. So yesterday I started writing the program. Then I told you that it is going to take a little time to think of the logic and all that. But I have written the program now. I've written the program here. I've made a folder only called as exam. In this I've written all the programs. Okay, first this program is 5B. Okay, this is 5B program. So in the exam, if I go Gen 5B, I think this is the one. This is the program for reading the marks and USN numbers of n students, and then after that finding out who is the maximum, who is the minimum, and so on. Okay, so now if you see the program, okay, the program is quite simple. First of all, you have to ask the user to enter how many students data you want to enter. Okay, n number of students. N means how many you want to enter, 5 details of 5 students, or you want to enter details of 6 students. You have to enter that. Okay, so you first ask the user to enter how many students, then you read that n, you then read that n, then after that take a while loop and read. Okay, now you have to read all the details of the student. Okay, so when you read details of the students, you have to basically read 2 things. First, you have to read the key. Okay, the USN number. The USN number is the key of the dictionary. Finally, when you read the details of the students, you have to store it into a dictionary. You have to store it in a dictionary where key is the USN number of the student and the marks stored is the value. So you have to store in the dictionary each item. Each item is a key value pair. Key is the USN number and value is the marks scored. So that is what I've done here. I've taken a loop for n, and then first enter the USN number that I take into a variable called as key. And then if I want to enter in this key, at this key, I want to enter a value. So I have to write D of key because I have declared a dictionary on the top here. You can see that. So D of key is nothing but I'm entering the value. So first you ask the user to enter the USN number, and then you ask the user to enter the marks of the student. So that comes into D of key. So like this, I continue this till all the number of students are over. If I say I want to enter the details of 5 students, the loop will execute 5 times and so on. Once I have entered the details of the students, then I even display that dictionary. Okay, so I print the D is what? D is a dictionary. D is a dictionary containing items. What is each item? Each item is a key value pair where key is the US number and value is the marks scored by that student. Okay, so this part of the program from here to here is only to read the students. Now, after this, it is all very easy. Once you have read all the students, then you will have to write the logic to display all the students who have scored marks less than 60, between 60 and 75, like that we have to display first. Okay, first let us find the maximum and minimum. Let us find the maximum and minimum. This is the logic to display the maximum and minimum. So what I do is I initialize a variable called as max. I put 0 into it, and then I initialize a variable called as min, and then I put one value from the dictionary. I take I take some key. I take some value from the dictionary and I put it into min. Okay, minimum. And then I take a for loop. I want to iterate through all the items of the dictionary. I want to iterate through all the items of the dictionary. So I take a for loop for key in D in dictionary. Then if D of key, if D of key means the value, if it is less than min, if I'm now remember what I'm doing is I'm iterating through all the items of the dictionary. I'm taking the first value and I'm comparing it with a variable called as min. Min is initialized to one of the values from the dictionary. If the first element of the dictionary, first value of the dictionary, if it is less than min, then take that value of the dictionary and put it into min. If that value is less than this previously initialized variable, if it is less than the previously initialized variable, then take the new value which is less and put it into min. Why we are doing this? We are doing this because I want to iterate through all the elements of the dictionary and find out which is the minimum marks. And finally, after the end of the loop, min will contain the least marks, the minimum marks in the dictionary. Similarly, I have declared a variable called as max. I've initialized it to 0. Take the key and check it with max. If this key is found to be greater than max, then put it into max. You must have written a lot of programs where you check for the smallest number or the biggest number in an array. The same logic you use. You initialize some variables and then keep iterating through each item. If that item, take the first item of the dictionary, check it with minimum. If it is less than, which is already there in minimum, keep the new value. The first element of the dictionary, put it into min. Then go to the next element. Second element, check it with the variable min. If this new item from the dictionary is found to be less than what is there in minimum right now, put it into minimum. Go to the third element, like that. Continue till all the elements in the dictionary are over. Finally, what will be there in min? In min, the minimum, the smallest number will be there in the variable min. Same thing we do it with max. And we check if it is greater than max. If it is so, then put it into the variable max. So at the end of this for loop here, min will contain the minimum value and max will contain the maximum value. Once you have found that, display that. Print max of all is max, print min of all is min. So the first part of the program we are able to do. We are able to complete the first part of the program, finding the minimum and maximum marks. Now, next is simple. Now I want to display all the USN numbers between 85 to 100. I want to display the USN numbers of the students who have scored marks between 85 to 100. So I display that first. Okay, and below that I want to display. So I take the for loop once again for key in D. If the value in the dictionary, if it is greater than or equals to 85 and that value is less than or equals to 100, take the first element, take the first item, take the first marks. Okay, take the first marks and then check if that marks is greater than or equals to 85 and less than or equals to 100, then display that. Because what I'm going to display is I'm displaying marks which is between 85 to 100. Display that. Print if it is greater than or equals to 85 and less than or equals to 100. Display the key also. Key is nothing but the USN number and D of key is the value, the marks scored. So display that. So at the end of this for loop, what will happen? It will display all the USN numbers and the values of those whose marks is between 85 to 100. Similarly, do it for 75 to 80. Display all the USN numbers and values between 75 to 85. check the condition as greater than equals to 75 and less than 85, display that. Similarly, do it for 60 to 75, like how they had given in the examination. They have asked you to display all the USA numbers between 100 to 85, 85 to 75, 75 to 60, and then below 60, and then below 60. So I have done it in that way only. So below 60, if there is any marks below 60, less than 60, then display that value. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now let us go to the command prompt and try to execute this program. Okay, so I come here to MMSC Python and then I want to execute this program. There is a folder called as exam inside this, so that's why I went inside this folder and then I want to run this. Python, what is the name of the file? It is Jan2019 5B. Jan2019 5B, yeah. And then I execute. So when I entered, then it is asking me, okay, enter how many students. I say I want to enter the details of 8 students. First it will ask me what is the USA number of the first student. I enter 2mm100. What are the marks? I'll say that this guy has scored 67. Then he's asking me, let's enter the second USA number. I enter 2mm200. What are the marks this guy has scored? I will say this guy has scored 89. Then USA number of the third student, 2mm300. And the marks scored 74. Then USA number of the third student, fourth student. So 2mm400. What are the marks scored by this guy? I will say this guy has scored 54. Then USA number of the fifth student, 2mm500. Then what is this guy scored? 78. Then USA number of the sixth student, 2mm600. Marks scored 63. USA number of the seventh student, 2mm700. Enter the student's marks. I will enter this guy has scored something like 61. And enter the USA number. I think this is the last student now, 2mm800. And then what is the marks scored? I will say this guy has scored 93. Enter. So when I press enter, these are the details. My program is executing with this. First of all, what it displayed me? It displayed me the dictionary. You can see that it displayed me dictionary in the flower bracket. 2mm167, 2mm289. This was actually not required, but for my reference, I thought I'll display this. Then maximum of all marks is 93, because if you look at the marks, 93 is the highest. So max is 93. Minimum of all is 54. 54 is the minimum. That is correct. Then after that, USA numbers between 85 and 100. How many people have scored marks between 85 and 100? There are 2 people. There are 2 people. Okay, 2mm200 and 2mm800. That person, those 2 students have scored 89 and 93. And then USA numbers between 75 and 85, we have only one, 2mm500. He has scored how much? 78. And USA between 60 and 75, I think we have 3, 67, 74, 63 and 61. We have 4 people. And then below 60, we have only one, that is 50. This is the output of the program. Quite simple. It's a very simple program if you understand the logic here. First of all, what we have done is we have taken a loop and we have read all the students in the dictionary, where key is the USA number and value is the marks. Then after that, we iterated through all the items of the dictionary. We checked for which is the maximum and we put it into variable called as max. We saw which is the minimum, we put it into the variable min. Then we took the loop once again to iterate through all the elements of the dictionary starting from the beginning. And then we took each marks and we checked if it is between 85 and 100. If it is so, we displayed it. Then we took another loop for checking if the marks are between 75 to 85, 60 to 75, and then finally 60. So this is the program. This is the program. Okay, I have these programs with me. Okay, when the college starts, or I will do one thing. I will upload this to the cloud. I will give a link in the WhatsApp group so that you can download these programs and you can practice them. Okay. Now remember, there are different ways of writing these programs. Other people will have some other ways of writing it. Maybe they will just do one thing. They will. What I did was to display marks between 85 to 100, 75 to 85. I've taken multiple for loops here. I've taken one more for loop, one more for loop, multiple for loops I've taken. But it can also be done using only one for loop also, but I did not want to make the matter very complicated. So I did it using multiple for loops. And there is no problem. In the examination, they will not ask you why did you use this method or that method like that. You can use any method. Absolutely fine. So I hope this program is clear. Now let us go further. Let us not waste time. I will upload all these programs on the group. Okay, you can check it out. Then after that, the next question in the same, in January 2019, is the second part of the module is compare and contrast tuples and lists. What are the similarities and the differences between tuples and lists? I told you this yesterday. Explain the following operations in tuples. Okay, sum of two tuples, slicing, all that. I want you people to go through this, search for this in the notes, and then compare this. Okay, how to assign variables to tuples, all that we have done already. I want you people to just go through that. Then next is explain extracting data using regular expressions. Implement a Python program to find for lines having @ sign between characters in a text file. So this program I had already written, but I have written this once again. I will show you the output of this program. First of all, explain extracting data using regular expressions. What is regular expressions? Regular expression is a concept in which we match a particular pattern in a main string, and then if that pattern appears, we can extract that. This is the concept of regular expressions. If you want to use regular expressions in a Python program, you have to import a library called as RE, small re. It's a library that you have to import. It has some built-in functions using which you can implement regular expressions. So now what is this program? We have to open a text file, read line by line, and in a line they have to check if the @ sign, the @ symbol appears. If it appears, we have to display that line. So that program I have written already here. Okay, before that I will tell you which file I'm going to open. Okay, I'm going to open this file. Which file I'm going to open? I'm going to open data mail. The same file, if you remember. Okay, there was a file in which a lot of information is there, a lot of email IDs also are there. So this file I'm going to open through my program, and I'm going to display that line in which there is a @ symbol, where there is a @ symbol. Yeah, there is a question. Okay, Malik Jan is asking a question that instead of converting, if you look at the program, the previously written program, if you look at the previously written program, if I show you, if I go to exam, if I open this file here, this program here, you will find that here I read n. Okay, I read n here, and then remember, whenever you read some input from the user, it will be read as a string, and then wherever this n is appearing, I'm performing a compare operation. So when you perform a compare operation between an integer, which is I, and n is a string, I is what? I is an integer because you've initialized it here, and n is a string. So that's why what I said is I converted that real time. There only I converted it to integer and checked the integer value of that n. And then other places also, a very nice observation, Malik Jan. You saw that everywhere, wherever there is this value, I'm putting this int here, I'm putting this int here, I'm putting this int here. Okay. Now what he's saying is it not possible to convert this n into a number here? Can I write something like this? N is equals to int of, okay, can I not declare a variable x is equals to int of n like this? Can't I do like this? Yeah, of course you can do it. Absolutely fine. Then wherever there is, you need n to appear, you can simply write x there. You can write x over there. Okay, and then you don't have to write this int everywhere, because you have already converted this n into an integer, and then you have kept it into an integer variable. Okay, this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely okay. You can do that instead of doing it everywhere in the program, which will look very clumsy, which will look very difficult to understand, complex and all that. You can first, only after you have read that value, you convert it to integer and put it into an integer variable, and then wherever you want, you can check it using the integer variable. Absolutely fine, no problem. But what I did was, I did not wanted to add one more step here on the top. I just, wherever it is required, I just converted that to integer, and have checked whether that integer value is less than or equals to another integer value. Okay, I did that. But what you said can be done, no problem. It can be first only converted into integer, and that integer value can be used. Okay, so we close that program. Now I'll go back to this program. Which is this program? This program is to count or to display the lines. Okay, that program is there with me already. This is 6B, Jan 2019 6B. Yeah, this is the program. Very small 5 lines of program is there. Okay, look at this program. The program is what? Import RE. First of all, you know that we have to import this library for regular expressions, and then I have to open the file. How to open the file? I simply write open into bracket datamail.txt, datamail.txt, the file in which all the lines are there. Some lines contain @ symbol. Okay, and then you must be wondering, sir, why is he not writing this comma and then it is read mode or it is write mode? I'm not writing this because, you know, even if I don't write that, by default the file is opened in the read mode. Okay, that's the reason why I'm not mentioning here that I want to open it in the read mode. You know that when I use the open function to open the file, when I write this open function, I have to mention in which mode I'm opening it. But if you don't write anything there, it is understood. By default, it is opened in the read mode only. Okay, so that's why I'm not writing it. So I have a file handler here, a file reference. I open the file, then for line in F hand, I go line by line. So this for loop, what will it do? It will execute the for loop how many times? It will execute the for loop number of times, how many lines are there in the file. So in the first iteration of the loop, line will contain the first line of the file. In the second iteration of the loop, line variable will contain the second line from the file. In the third iteration, line variable will contain the third line, and so on till all the lines in the file are over. Okay, so I take the line is equals to line dot r strip. What will r strip do? It will remove the right hand side white space, that is the new line character. I want to remove white spaces from the right hand side. Okay, though this is not very important, this is not required also, but to be on the safer side, I'm removing the right hand side, the white spaces. I don't want confusions to be there. Then I declare a variable called as pattern. And what pattern I want to check for? I want to check for @ symbol. I want to check for an @ symbol. Okay, so what I do is I write \S. What does this \S represent? It represents anything other than a white space. Anything other than a white space. So I need anything other than a white space. Then it should be followed by an @ symbol. And anything other than the white space should appear how many times? At least once, because there is a plus sign here. Any number of times or at least once. \S represents it matches anything other than a white space. Space, tab, new line character, it will not match that. So there has to be some character. It can either be a digit, it can be an alphabet, capital, small, it can be anything. Okay, so it has to be that at least one should be there, followed by an @ symbol, and then after the @ symbol also there should be what? There should be anything other than a white space. There should be some character after that, a capital alphabet, small alphabet, or a digit, and so on. Okay, so then I check if re is the library, re.search is a built-in function. It will search for this pattern, pattern, which is nothing but this pattern. So the search function will take two parameters. The first parameter is the pattern that you want to check, and check where, in what? Check it in the line. If re.search this pattern in this line, if it is present, what will the search function return you back? It will return you back true or false. It will return you back what? A true or a false. So if re.search this pattern in the line, if it is true, if this pattern is found in this line, the function search will return you a true. If it is true, print line. That's it. Print the line. If re.search this pattern in line, if this pattern appears in this line, then print the line. That's it. This is the program. And that is what is asked in the exams. They have said that display that line in which there is a @ symbol. So what is the name of this file? Jan2019 6b.py. I will execute this file now. I will clear the screen. Python Jan 2005 6b. Yeah, this is the file. So I don't have to enter anything here because the file will take input from the file. So when I press enter, my God, there are so many lines in the file. There are so many lines in the file which contains an @ symbol everywhere. Every line which has got an @ symbol inside it, it has displayed that. Very nice. So this is the file for that. Okay, this I had already explained it to people. I will go further. I will not waste much time. Okay, so I hope this program is clear. Now let us go further and see which is the next program. Yeah, finish. This is what is there in the third module from Jan 2019. I will open the next file, which is the next question paper, July 2019, and I will go to module number 3. First, I will increase the font size here. I will go to module number 3. Now, the first question is, what are the ways of traversing a list? Explain with an example for each. So you know that we have to use the for loop to traverse through the list. Then second, differentiate between pop and remove. How to delete more elements from a list. By using the for loop, we can do that. And what is the difference between pop and remove? You know that. Okay. So now next is what, write a Python program that accepts a sentence, okay, and build a dictionary with letters, digits, uppercase, lowercase as keys, and their count in the sentence as values. So this is a very interesting program and very easy also. You have to just understand what we have to do. We have to take a string as input from the user. The user will have to ask the user, please enter the string, and the user will enter, welcome to MMEC. Now, in this sentence, we have to count how many letters are there altogether. Letters are any alphabet, small or capital. That is letters. How many digits are there in that sentence? How many uppercase letters are there? How many lowercase letters are there? This is what we have to do in the program. We have to declare a dictionary containing these keys: letters, digits, uppercase and lowercase, and then in the inputted string we have to count how many uppercase letters are there, how many lowercase letters are there, how many digits are there, and totally how many letters are there. That we have to do. Okay, I hope you understood the question. The question is very simple: accept a string from the user and count how many letters, uppercase, lowercase and digits are there, and construct, make a dictionary in which you have to put the count. Very simple program. I will open the program and you will see how simple it is. Yeah, this is it. Now look at the program. Okay, the program is, first we have to read an input from the user. Please enter the string. So we read that string into a variable called as s. Then we declare an empty dictionary. We declare an empty dictionary. In the dictionary, we create 4 elements, 4 items. We create 4 items. D of letters, we initialize it to 0. D of digits, we initialize it to 0. D of uppercase, we initialize it to 0. D of lowercase, we initialize it to 0. First, let all of them be 0, 0. Next, what we have to do is we have to only iterate through, that's it, only this much program. We have to, now the string is entered. String is entered. Now we have to iterate through, we have to traverse through all the characters of the string, one character at a time. So take a for loop. For C in S, what is this S? S is the string that I had entered. On the top, if you see, I have written S is equals to input, enter the string. So whatever the user will enter comes into S. So now pass through it, iterate through it, traverse through it, whatever you want to call it as, one character at a time. For C in S, if that character, the first character, if it is greater than or equals to small a, and C is less than or equals to Z. Okay, this is a typical Python syntax. If you want to check if the character is between small a and small z, directly you can check it by using this relational operators. If the C is greater than or equals to small a and C is less than or equals to small z, what it means, if C is greater than or equals to a and less than or equals to z, it means that the character is a small alphabet. So in that case, what you do dictionary of lowercase is equals to dictionary of lowercase plus 1. Increment the lowercase key. Increment the lowercase value in the dictionary. And at the same time, finally, whether it is a lowercase letter or an uppercase letter, it is a letter only. So at the same time, even increment the letter. D of letters is equals to D of letters plus 1. So if the character is found to be small a, between small a and small z, increment the lowercase. Last 10 minutes are remaining. And if it is, and finally it is definitely a letter only, so you increment the letter also. Then in the for loop again check. If C is greater than or equals to capital A and less than or equals to capital Z, then D of uppercase is equals to uppercase plus 1, letters is equals to letters plus 1, increment the letters. And then finally, if it is a digit, if C dot is digit, how do we check if C is a digit? Okay, how do we check that? We can use if C is less than or equals to 0, greater than or equals to 9, we can even do that. Otherwise, there is a built-in function, okay, which is called as is digit. I can check it directly like this. If C dot is digit, if it is a digit, then increment the digit. And then finally display. What to display? Display the dictionary, because it is constructed already. You have initialized all the values, incremented and all that, and then you display the dictionary. Let us see this. Okay, July 2019 5C. Clear the screen. Python July Is this right? July 2019 5C. Yeah, this is the program. Okay. Execute. So it is asking me, please enter the string. So I will enter. Okay, something I'm entering here. Hello world, welcome 7 times, something like that. Okay, so I press enter. So when I press enter, see it already counted and it gave me the dictionary. How many letters are there totally? If I count HELLO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 characters are there, out of which how many digits are there? There is only one digit, 7. You can see that only one digit is there. How many uppercase is there? H is uppercase, W is uppercase, and here W is uppercase. So only 3 uppercase. And how many lowercase? 19 are lowercase. Did you see that? So we got the output properly. And then in the examination, they have given on this also. They have given like write this program. For example, if they enter VTU at 123.e-learning, it should display this particular output. Okay. So I will enter this string only and I will check the output. So just try to make this a little small here like this. Yeah. So now VTU at 123 dot e hyphen learning. Okay, so it's the same sentence which is given in the examination. VTU at 123 dot e learning, enter, and you can see the output should be like this. It says letters is 12, that is correct, digits is 3, correct, uppercase is 4, lowercase is 8. So you can see that the output they have given the paper and the output of program shows is the same. So we have been able to write the program successfully. Okay, and the program is very simple. Parse through the string, check if it is lowercase, increment that lowercase. If it is uppercase, increment the uppercase. If it is digit, increment the digit. Okay, fine. Now let us go further and then check the next question from this module. Compare and contrast lists and tuples. We saw that the difference between, now you saw that last year also they had asked this question. This year also they have asked this question. Compare. And so what you have to write here, you have to write the similarities and differences between these tuples. Then after that, write a program to check the validity of a password read by the user. The following criteria should be used to check the validity. Password should be at least, yeah. Now you have to read a sentence from, you have to read a password from a user, and then you have to check whether the password is valid or invalid. What is a valid password? A valid password is one which has 6 characters in it. It should contain at least 6 characters. Okay. It should contain at least one lowercase letter. It should contain at least one digit. It should contain at least one uppercase letter. And then it should contain at least one special character from this list here. It should either contain a dollar or a hash symbol or an @ symbol or an exclamation mark. These are the special, at least one should be there. So you have to enter a password and then check if it is equals to 6 characters or more than that. If it is below that, it should not accept. It should say it is invalid password. And then it should contain at least one lowercase letter, one digit, one uppercase letter, and one special character. I've written the program already. The program is simple. You can see the program first, and then I will execute that and show it to you. Okay, now this is the program. First of all, we have to use regular expressions for this. So we import RE, and then we ask the user to enter the password. That password is read into the variable S, and then I declare some patterns here. I declare a pattern for lowercase, I declare a pattern for uppercase, I declare a pattern for digit, I declare a pattern for special case. If I want to check in my string if there is a lowercase present, how do I check it? What will be my pattern? My pattern will be anything. Dot means in regular expressions, you know, dot represents anything, okay, and any number of times star, and then there should be here, you can see this, I wrote in the square bracket, I am making it compulsory that my pattern should check for small a to z, and how many times this small a to z should appear? At least once or more also is fine, no problem. So I write a plus there. A to z, I check in square brackets a to z, small a to z, at least once, or even if there are more, no problem. And after that, what can be there? Anything can be there after that. So that's why again a dot over there. So in my password, I want a small a to z to be present at least once. Similarly for upper, what I do, I need capital A to z at least once. I need a digit 1 to 0 to 9, 0 to 9 at least once. This plus here represents at least once. And special symbol also, I want dollar, hash, @ exclamation at least once. Any one of these should be present at least once here. So I'm defining some patterns here, and then look at the program, okay? And I check if regular expression dot search lower, check for this lower pattern in S. What is S? S is the password which you have entered. Check for this particular pattern in S. If it is true, if it is found, okay, this search function will return you back a true. If this is found to be true, okay, if there is a lowercase present in the password, then it will go inside the if loop. Then check for the upper. Check for the next condition, upper. Then check for the digit condition. Check for the digit condition, and then check for the special condition. Once all these are true, 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 then check for the length of the password. If the length of the password, len of S is greater than or equal to 6, then print valid. Print valid. Why you have to print valid? Because it has passed all these conditions. It has passed the lower condition, upper condition, digit condition, special character condition, and the length condition. Print. Else what? When will this else block get executed? The else block will get executed if the length is not equals to or greater than 6. It is less than 6. So in that case, you have to display an invalid. Okay. When will this else block get executed? This else block will get executed if the special character is not there. Okay, so you can see that because of this indentation, you can see properly which else block will get executed. If all these conditions are true, only then display a valid. Else, all the else block will contain an invalid like that, and finally invalid. That's it. This is a simple program. Define your patterns, and then after that check all the patterns should be true. In that case, display a valid. Otherwise, display invalid. So how many totally conditions you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 conditions. First is for lowercase, uppercase, digit, special character, and then length should be more than 6 or equals to 6. Let us see this program. Okay. Okay. This is the program. Last 1 minute remaining. Please enter the password. So I will enter the MMEC123. Enter. This is invalid because there is no special character, there is no capital, all that. So what it says invalid. You can see the output. Okay. Next program. MMEC123. Next input is what? MMEC. M is capital. No problem. It is digit is there, small letter is there, capital letter, all that is there. But still it is invalid because there is no special character. Now execute the program once again. Let us give the next input. MMEC $4. MMEC $4 or MEC $4. MEC $4. Enter. Still invalid. Why it is invalid? I have a capital letter here, I have a small letter here, I have a special character here, I have a digit here, all that is there, but the length is not 6. The length is not 6. So that's why it is so. So I'll run this once again. Final output MMEC123 $. Now it says valid. You can see that it is valid right now because it contains all the conditions. Okay, so I think the time is up now. I will continue again the next class. I will be starting with the next 4th module. Same, I will complete the syllabus, then I will solve the question paper. Okay, so we'll stop here now. We'll stop sharing the screen and then we'll stop the meeting also. Okay, I request all of you to please attend the classes regularly. CGV project, just coordinate with Kamble sir and see when you will be completing that. Bye bye.